Beloved heart, I invite you to sign up to my mailing list, and as a result of signing up, you will get a free gift. It's a 5D rebalance tune up of all these chakras, and chakras are my specialty. So I would love to gift you with this transmission that is filled with light language and codes to help you stay balanced and tuned up during these increased frequencies of energy of this ascension, this new earth frequency. So check out the links in the notes of this show, and I look forward to connecting with you. I am sending you love. This is the transfiguration of the new you. Hello, great awakener, beloved one. I'm Monica Bermudez. In this episode on my podcast that I want to talk about is from Homo-Sapien to Homo-Luminous being. So I know it's a very interesting phrase to jump into, but just to kind of talk about how this came about, and then I'll explain what this all means. Is I was inspired by one of my spiritual energy mentors who last year, as I was talking to her about some of the channelings and transmissions, she had a small group of people to be a part of this big Homo-Luminous type next phase, which is really a new version of the new human and what we are evolving to, spiritual evolution of species that we are and that we're fully capable of. And so I had this message come in through my higher guidance to talk about it on my podcast. And this came in way before I even met with my spiritual energy mentor on a private session. During that private session, though, she picked up on it. Of course, when I heard it from my higher guidance, I set it aside and I said, I'm just going to think about it, not, and just see, where this is all going. Because there's still this part of my human self that was a bit doubtful if that was something that I wanted to bring up on my podcast or even talk about in this subject. And so as I was, talking to her, she sensed, or she channeled that I would be speaking about it on my podcast. And I have, of course, never mentioned it to her about what I was going to say or what I was planning to do. This was all purely coming in through psychic and intuition and channeled in a moment. And of course, that really gave a big confirmation from the messages that I was getting from my higher guidance to talk about this. Because it is a big deal for us in the evolution that we're all going through. And so I asked my higher guidance after if, when this would be the appropriate time to really share it. And I was asking about this just recently. And what the message that I got was, now is a good time to talk about it and just call it from Homo-Sapien to Homo-Luminous. Is what I heard them say, which is what the subject and the title is of this episode. Now, if you think about the whole message about Homo sapiens, is a scientific modern term that we use for humans. And this was phrased after so much research by the biologists of the time. And they phrased it sometime in 1756. I think around 1700s. And it was, phrased as the Homo sapiens. And so what it is, it's just a term that is used for the modern human. So here we are in this new energies, new frequencies, the ascension that we're all in, the powerful energies coming in for 2024, and they're just going to continue to get stronger as well as we progress and step into this new world order of this new earth frequency that is more of this expansive consciousness. So just the Homo-Luminous, the information that I was getting, just to phrase it in a short version, is like the genesis of the avatar state, which we're all fully capable of being in, and being into this ascended self of higher consciousness and higher vibrational energies that we are fully capable of having. Of course, now it seems like it's impossible because of being in these human bodies, that we also have the challenge, right, of the chaos and the duality and the polarity. But that is, part of why we're here, is to be able to master that ourselves, so that we're able to step into this higher version of ourselves. So it is a spiritual evolution. It is a conscious evolution. And that's really what the Homo-Luminous is about too. So we're stepping away from this version of the old version of ourselves and how we were categorized, right, in this special category of being Homo sapiens, of being limited in some way or another, and stepping more into this full potential of who we are, where we tap into the universe within us of the unlimited self. And so it is quite an evolution to step into, and that we're all fully capable of doing it. So Homo sapien, though, the meaning from scientists has to do with the resemblance to primates, right? And there's an image that I have on my YouTube channel, if you're watching this on YouTube, so you can kind of see what they mean by Homo sapien evolution, that goes from the Neanderthals up to like the modern Homo sapien itself. And so this is an important information for us to understand, that we're shedding some of the old skin of the Homo sapien and stepping into this Homo-Luminous being. So stepping away from the versions of us that have been limiting us, and that includes, certain aspects of us where we are in this doubt, and where we feel like we're lacking a lot of things. Like we feel like we're lacking our abundance, that we're limited to what we can have, or the desire, of where it is that we wish to be in our own reality, in our own physical reality. So it is quite a shifting of energy, right? When we shift into these higher frequencies of energies, that we're also shifting our reality as well, and stepping more into this reality where we're creating more of our own heaven on earth. And really, it's not an actual location, right, where heaven is, but heaven is within your own heart, and how you make of it, and how we create our own versions. And when we step into our higher versions of ourselves, that we are able to feel that flow of energy of the universe, and be one with the universe, to know and have faith that, and trust that we are a part of the greater force, the greater source, and that we're fully capable of having much greater things in our life, and shifting that reality, because we're master alchemists, and we have, the power to do that within ourselves. And so that's where this Homo-Luminous comes in, where it is this more cosmic expansive evolution. And if you really break down the term, right, homo means same, and related to, as being the same. Luminous is bright. So being same, being a bright as you are. So I like to think of it as like more into our own light body or diamond body. And that really is where, when we tap into the all, which is our own source creation, that we become the same as co-creators. with the creative force that we already have within us and with all source creation within ourselves. So Homo-Luminous is that also that Christ consciousness energy that we hold within ourselves, but being open to that Christ consciousness energy within ourselves and having this conscious, expansive awareness of the unity that we already are, the love that we already are, and just knowing that that trust as well, because that all comes in with love and with that unity. And it's also being heart awakened. So being more heart centered, consciously heart centered as well. So I'm looking at what I had channeled and what my higher guidance was giving as information. So it is the genesis of an avatar state, like I mentioned before. So this is something that we can all achieve, and we're all capable of doing this, even though it sounds like it's impossible, but it really isn't. And when you really tap into this higher source of energy, it feels more of this flow of energy. And, and I get it because of my own human aspect experience as well that I hold within myself and all the challenges that I have been going through and that have been so accelerated and so intensified that I even feel the intensity of this year, 2024. And I feel it's going to be even more intense for a lot of us because we're really being, asked to like step into our own divine self of who we truly are at the soul level, at the heart level. And with that comes in these greater amounts of abilities, of spiritual abilities and talents that we already hold within ourselves. So we have the power, and that is that creative force of power within ourselves that we're able to alchemize our way out of any situation that is no longer resonating for us, that no longer serves us. And so it is a matter of trust. And I know there's, still some shadow aspects within ourselves that, we're still facing and confronting, but that is, the best that we can do at this time is to really work through them and finding that fine balance of harmony within ourselves to be able to work with both the light and the shadow. So it doesn't mean that because, we jump into this Homo-Luminous state that we're going to be perfect all the time. If anything, it just means that it's being more of this master within your own heart of mastering both the shadow and the light and having an understanding and acceptance of both of them within. And so that includes all aspects of yourself and the versions that you may have been in the past, the versions that you are now, and the future versions that you also are beginning to embody, because everything is all within the present and how we perceive our life, how we perceive ourselves. And that is part of this consciousness awareness as well. So we're tapping into the unlimited that we are and going beyond our physical reality. So going beyond this physical reality of who we think we are in this human self and this role that we're playing here right now. We're much greater than one can imagine from a human aspect. And that is the part that we're shifting into. So if you look at the slide though on my YouTube podcast, you could see the Homo-Luminous and the image of it like being this expansive self of this really bright being harmonized with the universal laws, the cosmic laws, and being in a harmony of this, state and understanding of what they are and knowing how to maneuver around these laws or with these laws and being in balance with them. So this is the spiritual evolution of this new human that we are becoming, that we're metamorphing into. is the word that I often hear, you know, like a butterfly transforming into these like higher versions of yourself that are so unprecedented and unimaginable to the human limited mind. But when we really step into the unlimited mind and the unlimited love that the all is, the universal flow of energy, we start to really tap into a lot of this Homo-Luminous being that we are and expanding more of our own consciousness in that way as well. So I do want to share 3 sacred keys, though, to take away, but also to help in this quantum leaping to jump into this Homo-Luminous state of these 3 keys to assist you with that. Number 1, and this is to release what no longer serves you. So really letting go of things that are, holding you back, like certain shadow aspects, areas that are in this complete doubt and just lack of confidence in yourself. Or even, certain places, like certain locations that you no longer resonate or is not in the energy frequency that you're in right now because you're expanding so much and your heart and your soul is asking you for something different and something new. So really tapping in and learning what those things are that you feel that may be blocking you right now, that you feel that may be hindering you from stepping into your higher self, into your soul, into your heart of, who you are and being more into this universal flow of energy. So yes, letting go is, a big part of all this process, which is the number one thing to start with to really help you quantum jump into a lot of this Homo-Luminous being. Number 2, trust your higher self and listen to the calling of your heart. So as you're letting go, you're going to also start receiving a lot more messages of your heart. And so there is a level of trust that goes in with that. And so this is, one of the things that really happened to me when after the divorce, there was a lot that I needed to let go of, like over analyzing a lot of what happened and just letting it go, really letting go of the past and whatever, I was stuck on like a broken record. And the moment that I let it go was the moment that a lot of information started to come up within my heart. But of course, there were still some doubts of the information that I was receiving from my higher guidance. So I had to really let go of even the doubts that I was having and just trusting where my heart was guiding me. And as I was trusting where my heart was guiding me, it was my higher guidance was leading me to connections with certain like specific people to be like stepping stones into the areas that I needed to jump into next, like starting my new business and doing a lot with my podcast. So it's been quite an evolution to, make it to this stage. And so a lot of what I share would save like many, many years of doing this or trying to figure this out. But really, these are very sacred, powerful keys to take away, though, of things to help you quantum jump into this Homo-Luminous being that you already have that potential within yourself. And the third thing is to surround yourself with those who support your spiritual evolution. So this was another part of my life also that I really had to be conscious of, was to be consciously aware of those who were in my surrounding, like if those who would, you know, embrace the spiritual evolution or changes that I was going through, or they would either mock it, in a certain way that seemed kind of degrading. And so that is when I really started to also let go of others and places and situations and find myself around other tribes, like soul tribes of those who really embrace all the changes that, I was undergoing and the spiritual evolution that I was going through. And it will accelerate a lot more of that spiritual evolution because you will be surrounded with others' energies. And if you're in situations or energies of others who are not very supportive, or it's just been, an unhealthy, it just makes it a bit more challenging. And so you spend more time trying to clear yourself and making sure that it's not coming from you, and any energy that may be attached, but doing constant clearing. Of course, constant clearing should always be done itself, but it would increase and it would just be more draining for you rather than really just being in the energy of the flow, that where the energy can move a little faster and help you accelerate into this Homo-Luminous type being and the spiritual evolution progress that we're all in right now. But these are very powerful sacred keys to take away to really help you step into more of this ascended version of yourself, and being more in harmony and in balance with yourself and your own surroundings, and being able to support others in that way as well, to whatever you feel called to right now that is, in resonance to your own soul and your higher version of yourself. And so, the more that you're able to fill your own cup, the more that you're able to assist others. Because if you're coming from a depleted area of energy, then it just makes it much harder to be helping other people or being of certain support in that way. So it's best to really help yourself right now. It's not selfish, right? It's about the self-love and the self-care. And I had a recent episode about falling in love with yourself. But these are really, important key takeaways about this, Homo-Luminous being, because that is the version that we are becoming right now. That is the spiritual evolution of humanity right now, where we're all evolving to these great, powerful, Homo-Luminous beings, and being just in this unity of this conscious energy and being more in flow with the energy of itself. To get there, though, we have to go through certain things in our life that we need to confront and face and overcome in our life. But you have the power and you have the ability to do this. And I do believe in you. So just know to trust yourself where all of this is going. So I'm wishing you all the best and sending you love. And I'll be connecting with you in another episode on my podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to click like, save, and share with others so they can also experience what you just experienced. And stay tuned for some more high vibe episodes. And I'll be connecting with you in the next quantum field. Sending you so much love.